All right. Hello. Welcome. I am Susie Raymond, and I'm the owner of White Sage Spa, and I'm coming to you today from my backyard. And as you can see, we've got the Milwaukee River behind us, and it's just such a beautiful area that I wanted to share it with you today. So, welcome and thank you for sharing this time with me. I am again Susie Raymond. I'm the owner of White Sage Spa, and I am a Catalyst life coach, and along with a Reiki master teacher and a skincare professional. But today, what I want to share with you is 4 things that you can control. And in our current just environment in the world, things are a little bit crazy out there, stimulating some fear. And if we can remember some basic tools of things that we can control, it really helps to ground you into your own inner knowing. Um, so, the very first thing that you can control is your breath. It's our life force energy, but we so often forget that we have control over our breath. So let's just practice together. First, what I want to do is challenge anyone who's watching to just hold your breath for a moment. I'm going to do it and see how you feel inside. Okay, I could have gone longer, but I could just feel that tightening in my lungs and it doesn't feel good. Um, so I am going to do the opposite and just invite anyone who is on this video with me to just take a couple of calming breaths where you just pause and notice what you notice. You don't have to go deep, just notice your own pattern. And I like to close my eyes because it takes me inside. So I'm going to do that. I've got some mosquitoes sharing our live video with us today. So, wow. Okay. That is just so potent and powerful to simply pause and breathe. To me, it connects me to my inner world, and that's so important right now is to feel connected to my anytime to feel connected to my inside world as I navigate through the external and the outside world. So, it's important to just notice how you feel. I can notice my tone of voice changing. I can notice a sense of calm overcoming. This is my first Facebook Live, so there definitely was a little bit of um, contraction. And with a deep breath, I just feel more open and able to share these 4 things that we can control. So notice your breath. Come up with some sort of little practice um, where you have a reminder to notice your breath, whether that's like some small little dot on any device that you use, your phone. Um, I remember a time in my life I put a little dot on my rearview mirror, so every time I came to a stop sign or I'd look in my rearview mirror, I would just quiet and try and take a deep breath. And so if you are dealing with stress and anxiety, it's very challenging to think your way out. But breathing deeply into the diaphragm, letting the belly expand, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose, actually changes your nervous system from fight or flight, which many of us are in as we're navigating our lives, into rest and relax and restore. So remember the power of your breath, noticing your breath, and focusing on your breath. It also, what I like to think of when I take some deep breaths is it creates my energy bubble around me. So I have like my own little protection and zone that I'm navigating whatever comes my way. So breath is number one. The second thing that you can control is your focus. I'm sure some of you have heard that expression, what I focus on expands. That, to me, is a universal truth. I've seen it happen over and over and over again. So we always get to choose, what we focus on. And I think it's so important to remember we get to choose our thoughts. And so oftentimes we might have something scary or, some unknowns. We all are navigating through life with unknowns. But to remember that I get to choose my thoughts and I get to choose my focus. So do I want to focus on something that is scary or do I want to focus on trust? Or another, am I, recognizing is my thought based in fear or is it based in love? And then just when we have that awareness, inviting you to shift and change your focus. And how do we do this? It's one thing for me to just say, change your thoughts. But again, create a practice. So come up with some thoughts that help you, that you can kind of rely on. If it's a thought of, I've got this, or I'm learning, or you're okay, it's okay, it's okay. Those are some really grounding thoughts that I like to use to shift my focus. Especially when I'm in a time where I feel if something feels out of control, just I can shift my focus and I can remember what I do know. If there's a lot of unknowns, what do I know? I know that I know my inner strength. And so I invite you to just feed your own inner strength with those thoughts. It's so, so powerful. So if we remember we can breathe and shift our nervous system, remember that we can always decide what we focus on. The third thing that you can always control is your imagination. And your imagination is different from I've got a little mosquito visiting me. Your imagination is different from your thinking mind. Your imagination really is your creative essence. Your imagination really comes from tapping into the heart and imagining, like bringing in. So how you do this is you bring in what if, like a magical what if. What if, and I can imagine anything. And again, recognize, are you going down a rabbit hole of fear or imagining what if? Magical thinking introduces creativity. So it's, so when I allow myself to imagine, and oftentimes I admit that I'm not always in that magical thinking place as I'm going about my day-to-day work, I find I do a lot of what ifs as I'm in the river. The river really helps me to just be in that place of flow and really tapping into my heart. And so that's what I invite you to. And as you're imagining, what's really important and how it differentiates from the thinking is that you bring in, what would that feel like? If I if I think of the what if and I imagine this, what is that felt sensation? So when I say felt sensation, think about If you were on in the very beginning and you held your breath, that felt sensation of contraction and, oh my gosh, I need to just breathe, I have to take a breath, versus when we took some nice, deep, calming breaths and there was a sense of calming and ease and groundedness. Um, so play with your imagination. Let yourself imagine. Let yourself go into magical thinking. I think we encourage it with our children, but I think it's super important to do it as adults living in the current times that we are living in. Imagine if we could all be kind to one another and love one another. What would our world be like? That's what I like to imagine. And then the fourth thing that you can control is your response. We can control, oh, I thought I had a bug on me. We can control our response to any situation, but note that your response is very different from your reaction. So if, if a mosquito comes and stings me, I'm going to react and I'm going to slap my arm and get the mosquito off. That's a reaction. So I'm going to react to really come from a place of kind of protection. But we then can respond to our reaction. And we always have the opportunity to respond and respond to any situation. So sometimes it's important to pause and just respond to your reaction and reassure yourself and be gentle with yourself and be kind and simply forgive yourself if it was a knee-jerk reaction that you really didn't want to do that. You can always ask for forgiveness if it involves another person, asking for forgiveness for yourself, and then just doing it again. But knowing that we do have a responsibility to control our response. And even that word responsibility, I like to think of, I have the ability to respond. If a situation involves something that another person that I can't control or I'm not responsible for, I do know that I'm responsible for my own response and I can always respond and check in with myself. So I hope that was clear. I just want to review the 4 things that you can control. You always can control your breath. I invite you to listen to any of these 4 things, and if one pops out, just commit to a practice for yourself, and your breath is the most foundational step that you can take. So your breath, your focus, what you focus on expands. Your imagination, bring in magical thinking. It lights you up. You're listening to your heart. And then your response. So those are the 4 things that you can control. There's a lot going on that we can't control, but those are some really powerful tools. I hope that they helped you. And if you have any interest in going deeper into looking at the things that trigger you, understanding your negative emotions and really the power of your negative emotions, because they should not be squelched down, they should not be ignored, that's when we have reactive behaviors. But when we understand what our emotions are showing up to teach us, whether it's anger or sadness or frustration, each one of those emotions has a gift that's waiting for you. And as a Catalyst Life Coach, I would love the opportunity to teach you and really guide you. As a coach, I'm guiding you to your own brilliance, your own internal wisdom with powerful questions. And I really would love an opportunity to share more with you about what Catalyst Life Coaching is. You can do a sign up from my website, which is whitesagespa.com, under the coaching tab and book an appointment. And you can always sign up for a 30-minute discovery session where you can learn more about Catalyst Coaching, give me an opportunity to give you a tool. Even in that 30 minutes, I guarantee that I will offer you some tool, some tidbit that you can take with you. And right now, I typically do my coaching packages in 6-month commitments. I really feel like people need coaching, so I'm offering a 1-month coaching where I will support you for a month with multiple coaching sessions at a rate of $500. So I encourage you to invest in yourself. I have done it multiple times. And when we invest in ourselves, that's when we really can step in to our empowerment, our internal confidence and joy. So that's what I have, and I want to just end it with a few bubbles because I love the idea of creating my own energy bubble and knowing that I am always okay right here. And thank you for joining me and listening, and I look forward to seeing you in my room, or I can also coach virtually on the edge of the river. Thank you so much. Have a delightful evening and enjoy the rest of the summer day. Bye-bye.